Hey guys, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. And trust me guys, it works. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And the best of all, it is totally free. Yes, totally free. So download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Good morning, everybody, on this lovely Sunday. How's everyone doing? Like always, every morning, always gotta drink your coffee. That's good. What creamer do you guys use? I use vanilla creamer. And what I've been recently doing has been putting, with the creamer, some vanilla almond milk. Just so it can spice up that vanilla flavoring. Because sometimes, I guess I can say I did this mistake. But when you add too much creamer, let's just say you start drinking more creamer rather than coffee. So then here you are tasting more of that creamer, which I'm not saying is bad, but some people don't like that. Some people want like more of the coffee flavor because if you're drinking coffee, wouldn't you want that? Like the fuck? But and so sometimes I'd put too little, so then I'm just tasting more coffee. And sometimes I'm putting a little bit too much, so now I'm just tasting more creamer. And sometimes if I don't put a lot, I'm tasting more coffee and I'm not really tasting any hint of vanilla, like almost at all. And so having that little splash of vanilla can be a little bit tasty. It gives it a little taste. So what I decided to do is try that out with the almond milk. Make sure it's like regular sweetened vanilla almond milk. Don't get the unsweetened, because maybe you could, but getting the regular sweetened almond milk just adds that pizzazz, because if you don't put a lot of creamer in there, and then if you put an unsweetened almond milk, vanilla almond milk, it's really not gonna do much. You're gonna add more of a vanilla flavor, but it's just gonna taste more like a weird coffee vanilla mix, like a unsweetened vanilla coffee. I don't know how to really explain it. So yeah, so do that, and to me, honestly, it has changed the game. That's all I'm gonna say. Has changed the game. Surprisingly, you don't really even taste it a lot. Like, if I'm being honest, you don't really taste that almond milk. So if you're not really a fan of almond milk, you'll be fine, because you don't really taste it. Like, I'm being completely honest. You don't really taste it at all. But, anywho about the coffee. Well, let me get one more sip. I hope you're listening to this once you've gone out of church or just waking up and listening to it. Still studying for my real estate exam. Just don't have that till Friday. Luckily at 1 p.m. because if I did it, because they had one for that Friday as well for, I believe it was like 8 a.m., 8 and 1 p.m. And I told my girlfriend, I'm like, I'd rather have it for 1 p.m. because at 8 a.m., because since I have to go to Omaha to take the test, I'd have to be waking up. Because Omaha's from Lincoln to Omaha, especially where we live in Lincoln, it's about maybe 40-ish minute drive. And so if I chose the 8 a.m. one, Because what I like to do, my morning routine, as like rated PG-13, this is. When I wake up, most of the time, 99% of the time, I go to the bathroom, and then out of the bathroom, I sometimes will drink coffee, sometimes don't, sometimes do, and maybe eat something, snack on something. I don't really eat breakfast, and when I do, it must be that I'm just like super hungry. So then, I'll do that most of the time, and sometimes I have to go to the bathroom twice in an hour. I don't know why, but I sometimes have to do that, and so doing that, taking 20, 30 minutes, maybe even 40, depending on how I'm feeling that morning, and then having a possibly shower. I wouldn't even be able to study a lot because, I'd have to leave. I'm a person that I like to leave a little bit earlier than intended. So if it takes about 40 minutes to get there, I want to be leaving at least 20 minutes before, on how long it takes. So if I were to leave at, let's say, if the ideal time was to leave at 7 o'clock, that would be 7:10 would be the latest on the dot. That is if I want to arrive there on the dot. But I'd want to be leaving at least like 6:50, 6:45. I know during that time there might be that morning traffic, but you're not going to have to deal with the heavy traffic, especially on the interstate. But if it were to happen, giving myself that little leeway of that room of cushion, I'd be fine instead of being like, oh shit, I left at 7, it is now 7:40. And mind you, I have to be there, I think they said 10, 15 minutes early, or 30 minutes early. I'm not too sure. I have to double check on that one. And so by doing that, if I'm like, oh shit, it's 7:30, and I'm in Omaha, but at the very, very bottom. So I'm in most likely Gretna, but I still need to be more inwards. Like I have to go more towards like downtown Omaha. How am I gonna do it? It's gonna take a bit, and yeah. So giving myself a little cushion should be able to help, and so that's why going in at 1. Not only can I wake up to my normal routine, I can even study, get a little refresher before the exam, and hell, leave 2 hours early if I need to, just so if, again, traffic is heavy, I'm there when it's heavy, and I'll be arriving on time. And if I were to arrive an hour early, 30 minutes early, well, more like an hour early, there's some restaurants nearby so I can eat something, so then I can fuel myself up, and I'm not just going in there super tired. Maybe I can have my coffee if I want to be that person, but I'm more. I'd be better. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But just I take that, and again, still thinking about the whole business shower. And you're probably wondering, yes, there is no guest on this one today. Been busy a lot, so I haven't really had time to find someone. Thursday, I have someone in mind that I hope maybe God, I can't speak. Let's see what she says, and then we can record her episode and be mighty fine dandy. But I don't know if I said this before, but I really appreciate the 100 listens that I hit. A big milestone for me. 'Cause I know some people are out there like, oh, 100? Like, that's nothing, Shout out to my 3 listeners. One of them is probably my dad. And then, like, Jaden and Chloe, possibly. Or my dad, Trinity, my girlfriend. and Chloe or whoever. But again, thank you for listening, being in the 100 listens. I never thought, even though, yes, I've had, it's me, I have to double check, like my 13th, 14th episode. I honestly wouldn't have thought of even dropping this much. I thought I would have just kind of given up a little, lost a little bit of hope. Especially since, a lot of people in my generation, they don't really listen to podcasts because some say it's for old people, which to me it's not. It's actually really, really entertaining. Especially, it's those ones where you got to find the right one. Don't be finding one that is boring, and so you assume that all of them are boring. You just got to find the ones that are the right one. Like, I know, for like the guy listeners out there, a lot of them are going to know about the Joe Rogan Experience. Impulsive is another one. The Full Send podcast is another one. Maybe the Ben Shapiro Show is another one. And I listen to, obviously, Impulsive. I listen to Joe Rogan's. I also listen to Graham Stephan's Iced Coffee Hour. And, there's other ones out there that got to fit your needs for them. Like, I know possibly a lot of the girls would like the Call Her Daddy podcast. Who is calling me? Come on, man. I'm recording a podcast. Get out of here. Recording a podcast, my guy. Get out of here. But like I was saying, a lot of the girls are going to like the Call Her Daddy podcast. I know my girlfriend does. Well, it's kind of like one of the only ones that she listens to on top of mine. So, just got to find your niche. Got to find what podcast you'd like. I hope you guys liked mine. If you can give a review. And I hope when I can, I'll also be able to be recording the podcast like completely, where you'll be able to see me and the guest, or me and my girlfriend, and then uploading the video version, obviously, to Spotify, so you can watch there, or YouTube. So if you have time, you want to watch on YouTube as well. And when I am into real estate, and when I am being a real estate agent, it's going to be one of those where I'm still going to be pushing out the episodes. So don't worry. I'm still going to be pushing them out. Still going to be with schedule of Sunday and Thursday morning. Still going to be pushing out for that time. My bad. And maybe I'll be able to talk about more of my experiences with real estate, and maybe getting people that are in the office with me there with real estate to be, be getting a different side of stories of not. You can have everyday, teens of around my age, but getting adults, getting them in real estate. Let them talk. Let's hear their side of the stories. And I feel like it'd be a good one, I feel like it'd be a good one. And then hopefully, even branching out, it's fun to be handling rejections. Well, it's really not fun, but it's one of those where just some people just aren't comfortable being in a podcast, or they don't really see what a podcast is, or really want to even talk. Not only to me, but just talk on a mic and talk about life. That's really what my podcast is. Because I know some podcasts have their own things. I guess you can call it just like I don't really know what the specifics would be. I know it's not like a life podcast, but I guess I can add some comedy in there, mainly just because of cussing and maybe some jokes up here and there. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys will be liking this podcast. I hope as time moves on, I'm able to invest more money into the podcast to where I'm able to get better mics and whatnot. And if it happens with like the video version and just in general, I can, in the future, instead of using the studio in my apartment, I can, lease an actual office space and use that as the new place of the Broke Boy podcast. And also with talking about locations, what I want to do as well is I don't want to creep, I guess you can say, guests out. If, let's say, I invite them to be on the podcast and they ask me, so where are we going to do it? How weird is it to be if you tell them, my studio, we'd be making the podcast in my apartment. How fishy does that sound? Especially if you tell a woman that. They're going to say, I don't know how comfortable I am. Because, it's different if it's like a guy. Because, some guys will just say, okay. Or some would still say, that's kind of weird. But especially for women, because you know how some could see that. And so, with that, depending on how comfortable they would be, if they're down to be in the apartment, I'll, have a little table talk, just talk about life, whatever, or just meet them in a public area like Panera or Barnes and Nobles, to where it's a public area. They don't feel so uncomfortable, because I would understand. It's not like I'm gonna be mad at them, be rude to them. I completely understand, and that would be my suggestion. If they were comfortable being in the apartment, they could be in here. But if they prefer more of an open area, public area, I tell them. And plus, it changes the scene, especially once I'm able to be recording them and you can be watching it on Spotify and YouTube. That'd be a nice scene having the podcast there. Hopefully they let me record like those buildings, but hey. So it's kind of like updates for the podcast. I emailed Runza a bit ago about sponsorships, because I was like, I wonder if they not only would answer me, but I wonder if they would even say they could sponsor a podcast. An update, they said, send us a sponsor proposal and we'll look into it and see if you're a good fit. The problem, I don't have a sponsor proposal. I don't even know how to create a sponsor proposal. And when I was looking them up online, a lot of them seem like those cheap Microsoft PowerPoint preloaded templates that people that are doing it last minute would do. And I want mine to be unique. I want mine to look more unique, not a preloaded template, a last minute preloaded template that I just fill in the blanks, because they probably wouldn't care, but to me that would kind of destroy the I guess you can say the professional way, the professional standing of it. Because imagine someone asking for a sponsorship and you tell them we're your sponsor proposal, we'll be down to, if you're a good fit, we'll be down to. And you come back a couple of days later and they look at it and you could just kind of tell it's a preloaded template. To me, I'd say, they didn't really put in much work into this, so I don't know if I would want to sponsor them. And so I don't know if Runza would be like that. I'm still trying to find how to even create a sponsor proposal. I don't know if I have to add text. I don't know if I have to add a lot of images, or more text and images, or more images and text. But either way, what images would I even be putting? Of myself? I mean, what would I do? Or text? I mean, I'm not a charity. It's just a little sponsorship. If they even want to be donating a T-shirt, or a free Runza meal or whatever, I wouldn't care. I would not mind. A sponsorship is a sponsorship. But that's how that's going. I want to get some of my target coworkers to be on the podcast, but No, I'm a really quiet guy, even at Target. Just super quiet, and so I don't really know how comfortable they'd even be to be doing a podcast with someone that they don't really even talk to, or to someone that doesn't even talk. And so I don't know how comfortable they would be. And most of the time, I don't really even talk to any of them. So even though I am quiet, it's not one of those where, like, to a couple I'm talkative with. No, with everyone I'm quiet. I honestly don't really even speak unless they speak to me. So it's kind of how that is. But I'm still grinding with the podcast, studying for the real estate. Really want to be dabbling my fingers into real estate, especially in this market. It'd be a good time, and I'd be proud of myself to be saying I'm licensed at 21 years old for real estate. Because a lot of the people, again, not trying to be that person that's like, look at me, I'm 21 and I'm licensed. You fuckers are like 40 and y'all are licensed. Look at me. No, I want to start young, because some are, because the office that I go to is the Nebraska Realty office. Lovely people, beautiful office. They are creating a new office really close to where I live now. It's a beautiful area, beautiful people, and some of them are still, I guess you can say, fresh in the business of real estate. And they are, like, maybe in their mid to high 30s, maybe even lower 40s. And, I want to be, there are some people around my age, and I want to be one of those where, I can be that young kid on the block and learn from them, even from the newer ones, because some of them, from life experiences, they might be able to teach me some things. And also, people who have been there for 20 plus years, they too could be teaching me some things, and hopefully listening and watching to Ben Mala, Graham Stephan. I want to probably start listening to Ryan Pineda of real estate. Listen to them and see what advice they give, or see what I could do different than, let's say, what most people at the office do. Stand out, do something creative, or just, like I said, completely different. So then, they can be like, "Oh, how'd you do that?" And I could just explain, "Oh, well, I did this," and say, "Oh, I've never actually seen anyone do that before," and that's pretty good. And once with all that, whenever I get my first commission check, I'm going to McDonald's without using the Deals app. Just kidding. I'm probably still going to be using the Deals app because I'm a cheap piece of shit. I just can't, I'm not a piece of shit. I just like to save some money. But it's kind of just what's going on. I guess it's just a little update. My girlfriend's currently working. I just woke up from a nap not too long ago because I've been up since 3 in the morning. And I'm just recording this the day before. So if you listen up to that point and wonder, well, it's not even in the afternoon and whatever. Yeah, I'm recording this the day before. But I want to see. Before I go, I did get a voicemail, and the message, because with T-Mobile they have like a text voicemail to text. So if you get a voicemail and let's say you don't want to open it, they'll transcribe, I think what they call it, or interpret whatever has been said to, where if you go to your voicemail you can see. But at the same time, they also send you a text, and the text is in Chinese or Japanese, I think. Don't know what the hell that is. Let me see.
For English inquiries, please press 1, and Chinese, please press 2.
FedEx 国际快递最后一次通知您，你有一个快件已开送2次无人签收，如需查询英文请按1，中文请按2。
What? What the fuck was that? Why would I... What? Why would I get some... Shit. Whatever that was, whatever language that was, why would I even get that? What the fuck? That's fucking weird. What the fuck? That's fucking weird. But there's other for today's episode. It's not really a lot. It's shorter than a lot of the other episodes, but don't really know what to be talking about right now. I just got to be studying, doing a bunch of other stuff. And so, I love you guys. I'll see you guys Thursday, hopefully with the guests, so you guys don't have to hear me speak a lot. And other than that, enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.